I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Finally, The Rock has come back. I hate this idea that you're the best.
And if you're not down with that, we got two words for ya!
I'm the best in the world.
I fight at WrestleMania for the very, very small percentage of people that walk this planet and say I am proud to be, I'm sorry, a professional wrestler.
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
It's Podcast of the Immortals with your hosts, Matt Bush and Jimmy Bellamy.
Here we go. Did you hear about Hulk Hogan?
No, what about him?
Well, remember when we talked how...
Apparently he had like a verbal...
Yeah.
Well, it says, despite... This is from Cage Side Seats. Despite Hulk Hogan being a free agent and on the hunt for a new job, WWE hasn't exactly been biting his hand off to bring him back to the fold. Mm-hmm. Rumors that the Hulkster has already come to a verbal agreement with Vince McMahon are obviously bogus, as he's clearly still vying to lobby his way into a major spot at WrestleMania 30. Hogan's latest brainstorming on Twitter reveals that he thinks a WWE or an NWO reunion is his golden ticket back to the big leagues.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst.
He started tweeting how he had seen Scott Hall and he looks awesome. Looks 25 years old again.
That's just not true.
No, and is ready to give somebody a razor's edge. Made my night to see him look so great. Totally freaked out how good. He kept going on and on about crew of tough guys, brother, Hollywood Hulk Hogan for life.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Anybody who follows Hall on Twitter can see that he looks better because he looked like he was going to die any minute.
Yeah, he did.
He looks like a 54-year-old guy or whatever he is now. He doesn't look 25.
Now, it might not be feasible for the NWO to come back in wrestling capacity, but it makes sense if they're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
It's possible.
Yeah.
They really don't need them in the sense where there are plenty of other guys like your guy Goldberg who I'd want to see. Mm-hmm. There's not a need or a void to have Hulk Hogan fill at WrestleMania. They've got plenty of guys who are more than capable and more capable than him too.
Well, I'd still love to see him. I mean, he's that iconic. I mean, WrestleMania 30 is kind of a big deal, every 10 years they kind of make a big deal about, the history of it, and who more historic than Hulk Hogan.
And that's why I want to see him too. I'd like to see him because I'm partial to him being in WWE. And if he wants to just have one go at WrestleMania, fine. Get a match for him. But I don't know who he'd fight. And I want to see him wrestle if he's there. I don't want to see him do a run-in or talk or whatever.
Yeah.
Just have him fight a match somehow.
Yeah, I'd love to see a match. Even if,
maybe if it's a babyface NWO trio taking on 3MB.
How great was Hogan versus Rock, though?
That was sweet.
And Hogan, he didn't need to do much. It was all ring psychology. Mm-hmm. You watch him and they had, where they kind of shoved each other and Hogan did his pose and, he gave the big boot, the leg drop, and just a lot of moves, but it was a crowd that really made that match.
Yeah, and what I liked about it was the run leading up to that and that night. The crowds seemed to overwhelm Hogan. He was genuinely touched and surprised at the reaction, and that to me was the coolest thing, just how nuts they went for him.
And I think he can have that same reaction, same kind of match now, and I'm really getting behind this idea that Hogan could take on a John Cena. And it'd be believable just because the crowd would want to see it. Yeah. And the crowd would be 199,000% behind Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that's not a real number, but no, you're right.
It is a real number.
It is a real number. I guess you could exceed something by that, but the crowd can't be that much behind him. I'm teasing.
Okay.
I'd like to see that because we know Cena can wrestle and put on good matches, even though people, the cool thing to do is say he can't wrestle. But he has nothing but great matches with people, and I know he could carry Hogan in a match. And the crowd would be that third participant that would make a difference.
Yeah. Well, and Cena has taken on The Rock. He's taken on... We were just talking about how he's done 8 Mania, headline.
Something like
8 or 9 now. Starting at WrestleMania 21.
Yeah, he said 9 in a row. Yeah.
Shawn, he's faced Shawn Michaels.
That was
he's faced
the other
Rock
match.
twice.
That was the other match, the Shawn Michaels match. I forgot.
Yeah.
Totally forgot, even though I saw all of those.
Might be John Cena's greatest match. He's faced Shawn Michaels at Mania. He's faced The Rock twice. He's faced
Triple H, Orton.
Triple H, Orton.
Big Show,
JBL. All in one. JBL. Who else on the roster right now? I mean, I'd like to see him maybe take on CM Punk.
CM Punk is the one who stands out to me. Or Daniel Bryan.
Or Daniel Bryan or The Undertaker. Mm-hmm. And since it sounds like Brock Lesnar is taking on The Undertaker, and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan look like they're going to be obligated elsewhere on the card, I think it makes sense that Hulk Hogan should face John Cena right now. And I would have never thought I'd want to see that match, but the more and more I start thinking about it, the more excited I get about the possibility of seeing that.
You have Rock, who has beaten Austin, Hogan, and Cena at WrestleMania, the only person who can claim that. I think they would like to have Cena be able to say he defeated Rock and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania, so that's why I think you're going to see it. Other than that, I think it's possible to get Hogan a victory, but as we all know, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose at WrestleMania.
No.
I mean, you look at Triple H, HBK, Cena. It doesn't matter what their records are. They can have great matches.
Shawn was like 6-11 at WrestleManias, and he was Mr. WrestleMania.
He's the best, and as we've played this game and seen all of these matches now again, he's the best. It's amazing that you could have this guy who at WrestleMania, was it WrestleMania 9 fought Diesel?
At WrestleMania 9, he actually fought Tatanka.
Okay, it was 10 he fought Razor with Diesel in his corner. Razor. 11 he fought Diesel.
11 he fought Diesel.
And that the guy who had the ladder match with Razor Ramon, and we, even though it wasn't in the game, you have that scene of him jumping off the ladder.
Yeah.
That same guy fought The Undertaker twice late in his career. Retired Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Retired, air quotes. All just awesome stuff. The Cena match, which I forgot. Super cool. Welcome to the show, guys.
Oh, yeah.
We've got plenty more to cover. We've got Wrestle News. We've got Raw that we just witnessed, not in person because they're in the UK and we are in the United States of America.
And I really want to cap off our show after a Raw recap. What I wanted to do was kind of what we had just started to do. The road to WrestleMania is starting soon. Royal Rumble coming up in a couple months here. I want to give an ideal card. Like if you could make a card right now of the people who might possibly still be coming back, of the names you've heard, who would they face? Who would Goldberg face? Who would Hulk Hogan face? Who would Sting face? Who would, assume they all come back, all the rumors you've heard, and put together a card from top to bottom, fill out 4 hours of entertainment, and see how great of an unbelievable show that you can make. Who they'd face and who would win each match. How about that?
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
That might take a while.
That's why I want to do it at the end of the show.
Yeah, it might
so
take a while, especially off the
bit.
top of my head. It might take a while.
But we were just starting to do that already with the Hogan booking. But I think it'd be a lot of fun. We can spend like 10 minutes on that. But
I guess we should introduce ourselves too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Jimmy Bellamy.
And I'm Matt Bush. This is podcast Immortals, episode 46. Yeah, dang.
46.
We're closing in on 50.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I can't remember our exact starting date. It was February something.
Yeah.
Which we can easily find, and it's on our WordPress and everywhere else we can find it. But, I mean, it's cool that, if we did it weekly, we'd already be close there. Because
close to a year.
52 episodes.
Yeah.
But thanks to pay-per-views, we haven't missed a week at all. It's been really nice. We've missed some pay-per-views because we didn't start doing the pay-per-view reacts right away.
Yeah, we always watched them,
close.
but we kind of did it just on our next episode.
Yeah.
But now we get that bonus episode once a month.
Bonus episode.
It's kind of like when you...
Or twice a month in October, since we had
exactly.
2 pay-per-views.
It's like that 1 or 2 months a year when you get that extra check, you know? Because you got it budgeted out for 2 checks per month, and then you get a third one, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, which will be happening for some people in January.
Nice.
At least it will be for me, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'd say a good overall Raw that was made better by the crowd in Manchester.
Yeah, it was a great crowd. I mean, they had the "We Are Awesome" chants at one point, which they were awesome. But I'm a little biased. I was in maybe the greatest crowd of all time, and I'm very proud of that crowd. Of course, I'm talking about the Raw after Mania this year in the Izod Center in New Jersey. But they were great. But I tweeted this out too. It's adorable when they chant in England, because they have an accent when they're chanting too.
Of course they do. We all have accents, but theirs stands out because we are American.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what I meant. It's just an adorable English accent.
Randy's boring.
Yes, very boring. I thought that was lovely. But we need to get into Wrestle News. Top of the order here is Cassius Ohno being released, also known as Chris Hero. He was in the... Was he in the World's Greatest Tag Team?
Yes, he was. No, that's Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. He was in Kings of Wrestling.
Kings of Wrestling. I always mix those two up.
Kings of Wrestling with Claudio Castagnoli, now Antonio Cesaro. Cassius Ohno, or Hero. Hero released a statement... I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I think it was today. And he said that he, spent 21 months living in Florida as part of WWE's developmental system. But he said that with good friends of his, Claudio Castagnoli, who had his contract terminated from WWE once, Dan O'Brien, who had it terminated twice, and Colt Cabana, who's now back with WWE very soon. Everybody he's mentioned has had some times where it's looked like their time with WWE has been over or not going to happen at all. But he said that he has a feeling that if everything is meant to be, he'll be back with them. Yeah. But he's excited to go visit places in the world that he hasn't seen in a while, see friends he hasn't seen in a while, wrestle in front of fans he hasn't seen in a while. So he's got some ideas, and he's got some guys he's been dying to work with. So he's looking forward to being able to, put those ideas into motion. So I'd be shocked if we did not see him get a chance again with WWE.
I would be too. I think he's a great performer. I don't know if you got a lot of chance to see him work. You have?
Me? I've only seen him on YouTube videos that I've looked in on, and any of the NXT episodes I've seen, he's happened to not be wrestling on any of the ones I've seen.
Well, he's good. He's a great character kind of guy, and I'm trying to figure out a person he reminds me of, but kind of Wade Barrett, I guess, maybe a little bit. But he's a good ring psychologist, maybe like Jake the Snake. You know? Maybe not quite that good, but he got into some flack about his body. Like, he put on a little weight. He didn't look like Ultimate Warrior in the ring, as far as the physique. But he had turned that around a little bit. But I'm sure that played a factor into his release.
He had battled that his entire career too, where he was a little thicker. And he had talked to Colt Cabana on the Art of Wrestling podcast about that, where he was so self-conscious, and it took him a long time to actually graduate to wearing trunks.
Oh, yeah?
And having no shirt. And eventually he got there, but still was always self-conscious about it. So I could see where maybe his weight had gone up and down.
Sure.
Would go up and down.
Yeah, but, I was hoping he would make it to the main roster, because I got to see him wrestle at Access, actually, and he was really good. I forget who he faced. I think it was that Oh, what's his name from the Wyatt family now? The guy with the beard.
Luke Harper.
Eric
Rowan. They all have beards.
Well, no, the giant red beard.
The guy who looks like the giant
goat mask.
The giant hillbilly Josh Groban. That'd be Luke Harper.
All right.
Goat mask is Eric Rowan. Bald head.
Eric Rowan, yeah.
That's who he fought?
That's who he fought,
Okay,
I believe.
the bald guy. The redhead.
Yeah.
Or the red face, I guess.
Yeah, he had really cool entrance music, too.
Did he?
Yeah, Cassiusano did.
Okay, I thought you meant Eric Rowan for a second.
Not really, no. It was kind of generic for him. But, yeah, it was good. It was a good match. I was excited to see it. And, well, best of luck, Cassiusano, or Chris Hero, or whatever your real name is. I don't really know.
I can't remember his real name.
You're usually pretty good for that.
I think his real first name is Chris.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll be going back to the Indies as Chris Hero.
Oh, for sure. Wrestle News number 2, and this is being reported. I can't remember where. I just wrote it down off of memory, but I remember reading this that they're possibly looking at a title for title match at WrestleMania 30, possibly combining them once again. But that seemed pretty soon after they debuted the WWE belt, the new one. Maybe they just go with the WWE belt if they became an undisputed champ.
Maybe
they'll go Chris Jericho route with it and just hold both.
I'd like to see them just unify the belts and go to one. And one of the arguments that really stands out to me is the one I gave you tonight while we were watching Raw. When Dolph Ziggler fought Curtis Axel for the world, or I'm sorry for the. Although I think they did say the world. I think they did say that. I think Justin Roberts said that. Maybe he said current. I don't know, but it's hard to believe that a guy like Ziggler, who held the World Heavyweight Championship earlier this year, would lose a match cleanly for the IC title. And that's the reason why I think they need to get rid of the World Heavyweight title. It's just not believable that there's almost nowhere to go. The former champions, if they're not contending for it, they go into a limbo.
Yeah, they go straight to the mid-card.
Yeah, and it dumbs down what the title should mean.
Yeah.
And I don't care how long Cena carries it. It's still going to be second to the World Heavyweight, or to the WWE title.
Well, just look at the main storylines. It all involves the WWE Championship, even when Cena is the World Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like that since probably WrestleMania 25. What is that, 2008?
25 would have been 2009.
Yeah. When Cena won the World Heavyweight Championship for the last time, when he took on Big Show and Edge, I believe that pay-per-view. But ever since the brand extension ended, and the Brock Lesnar's, the Undertaker's, the Batistas, all those people were gone from SmackDown. It hasn't really meant anything, and it's unfortunate. I love that belt.
Yeah, it's a great looking belt,
historic belt.
But and you know what? If someday they decided, and I don't think they ever will, because of that belt's roots, if they made that the WWE Championship, I think that'd be fine. I mean, it's a great looking belt if it was the belt, but to have two, it just doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah.
To me, it never made sense. I could understand with the brand separation, I could give them the benefit of the doubt, but to me, you should always only have one.
We're watching the Clippers Wolves game right now. Did he just make that shot for the last second?
Was that a half quarter?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Let's go back here. It's hard to watch a game on mute and pay attention.
I know.
Especially when we're doing something like recording a sweet-ass podcast.
Hells yeah.
We are hoping that you guys can hear this.
Because there was some kind of foul, and I don't know. They showed a shot from half court.
Well, it must not have been because...
No, yeah. Okay, whatever. It must have been a replay or something from halftime or something. But yeah, I would be totally for it. Like you said, the World Heavyweight Championship doesn't mean anything, and it actually hurts people more than it helps. I remember back in the day, the Intercontinental Championship meant almost as much. I mean, you would have a match between Triple H and The Rock for the Intercontinental Championship that was as good as anything else on the card, and that Intercontinental Championship actually meant something.
Because it was the second of two singles titles.
Yeah.
Not counting the women's title, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, and even back then, there really was no women's championship at all. Because there were no women. They were all valets.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like if the NFL had two championship games.
Well, it'd be AFL, NFL.
Yeah. But then they didn't have the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have 2 titles, maybe like that should be the thing. Those 2 take on each other at the end of the year at WrestleMania every year, or like that's the figure out who's the best.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. That's your ticket to the main event is the titles.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then what do you do? I guess how would it reset? Because every year someone would be walking away with both belts. How would you get it away?
Well, maybe have a trophy or something.
or you could do what they did with when the Ultimate Warrior won.
He forfeited the
he forfeited the IC title,
yeah.
and then they had a tournament. So maybe the champion could choose and then give up the other one. But to me, just have a unification match, have one title, and stop forcing me to pretend that both of them mean the same amount.
Yeah,
because they're just hurting each other by having them both.
Or what if they had the WWE champion take on the Royal Rumble winner, the World Heavyweight champion take on whoever he has to fight at Mania, and then the winners of those match take on each other in the Super Bowl of WrestleMania.
Yeah,
or something
it'd be
that.
just like that Vengeance pay-per-view in 01 where they did that.
Yeah, it'd be like turning the BCS into a playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We need one champion. We can't have 2. It doesn't make any sense.
Let's do it.
All right, WWE, put it down on the board. Put it on the board.
Make it happen.
Wrestle News number 3. Total Divas was back. I know you didn't watch it.
It's on my DVR.
Hour-long episode. They covered the SummerSlam, the lead up to, and everything surrounding around the event. I actually really liked the episode. It showed, once again, it was more about John Cena than anything else, which I was okay with, and about his elbow and taking on Daniel Bryan, and it was great seeing backstage footage of the Bellas while they're watching this match, and I just thought it was really cool, and I like that kind of stuff.
I'm okay with that, but I'd like them to make a show, and we're watching basketball right now, called Total Divats, and just follow a former NBA player, Vlade Divac, around. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be good.
I'm liking the show more and more, and I liked it from the beginning, so that's a very good thing. I like the Bellas. Right now, I'm on the 3rd to last episode of the first half, so I have 3.5 episodes to go, and then I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
And I really like the exposure it's given the divas, so you start to invest more in their characters on the actual wrestling shows, and that's what I've seen, and we've talked about, and it's been noted how the Bellas now have an identity separate from being twins.
And that's the best thing about that show, to me, is that I now know the difference between Nikki and Brie Bella. They do feel like characters to me now rather than just a team.
Mm-hmm.
The Usos need that. The Shield has that, where each individual guy because they're so different. But yeah, it's really cool. I actually like the show a lot.
I'm looking forward to catching up with that too.
Yeah,
it's nice that they've, I guess it doesn't hurt that 2 of the biggest stars are on it with John Cena and Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. I was wondering if you were going to say Bryan Danielson.
Well, that's what they always call him on the show.
I know. Wrestle News number 4, WrestleMania 30 tickets go on sale this Saturday. And apparently the pre-sale is Thursday. But I haven't gotten confirmation on that yet. I've been scouring Twitter over the last week or so.
How do you gain access to that?
They release codes. Different organizations get different codes. I'm on message boards and stuff to make sure I get. I have a couple codes already that I think are going to work, but I'm always looking for more just in case.
Let the audience know what those codes are.
Okay, if you're looking to go to WrestleMania,
it's up, down, down,
left, right. ABA.
No, BA start.
Select, isn't it?
No, that's if it's a 2-player game.
Oh, okay. No, they go on sale 10 p.m. I think Eastern Standard Time. I need to check that out. Thursday. The code I have right now is WWE VIP. All one letter. Ooh, Wolves Ball?
Wolves Ball, 6.9
seconds left. Down
Booyaka,
by 2.
booyaka. 6.9.
How about a Kevin Martin or Kevin Love 3-pointer to win?
Yeah, either one. We could. Yeah,
sweet.
it could be a replay of 2 years ago.
That'd be awesome.
Kevin Love makes it.
Mm-hmm.
You have some big plans for Mania. I'm very happy for you that it's working out the way. Our boy Shane sounds like he's making it happen.
A friend from Ireland.
He likes to fight.
Yeah, fella. No, he's coming with, and he's got his girlfriend of 3 years is coming with.
Yeah,
and I think he has 2 buddies from over in Europe who are coming with too. And I think one's in Canada right now. I don't know. He was explaining it to me. I didn't really understand. But we have at least 5. Our buddy Chris Chafee is supposed to come, who was a guest on our on our show. He's trying to work that out with work, so hopefully we can have 6 guys. We're getting a house down there for like 5 days. It's going to be sweet. We're going to Raw. We're going to Mania. We're going to Access. We're going to WrestleCon.
that's going to be a blast.
It is going to be
so excited for you guys.
I'm pumped.
I'll make the trip eventually, probably 2015. But 2014, I've got a few things I want to do with my money. So it's going to help out if I can just skip this year. And he got a terrible shot off, and they got another one, and he's still... Oh, my gosh. The Wolves just had 3 chances to win it, and they missed all 3, including a putback right by the bucket. Wow. I didn't think I'd ever be this invested in basketball, but I'm sad about that.
Yeah, they should have scored 2 points.
This is garbage. Watch this, though. Kevin Martin, this is great for everybody on the podcast, takes a terrible shot here. Like, what are you doing?
We get the rebound. Pakovic misses. Kevin Love right at the rim misses.
Unreal.
Wow.
Did we get a foul?
No.
Although I say, he's like, my bad.
He's like, my bad. I missed a 2-footer.
And
lost again.
And I also committed the ultimate sin in my book. I said we. Like I have anything to do with this.
No, aren't you an honorary Timberwolf? Okay. So Raw. Randy Orton comes out, says he's going to retain against the Big Show at SummerSlam. Brad Maddox then comes out, and so does Kane, who apparently is now the director of operations of the WWE. Triple H and Stephanie are on vacation, so Kane says that he is in charge now while the parents are away. Vicky comes out afterwards and says that Orton will face Code Dust in a handicap match, and apparently she has the most pull in the company right now because that's what happened.
She's the most senior member, I think. Although Kane might be older than her.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But yeah, that's our first match of the night. Code Dust taking on... who did I say? Randy Orton.
Dr. Ton.
Dr. Ton. And this match was okay. It was alright. That's when they started their Randy's boring. Although, no, let's get it right. Randy's boring chants. Just adorable. Code Dust ends up winning by a count out, which Orton kind of let him do.
Yeah, he wanted no part of them after a while.
Yeah. And then here comes the Big Show.
Well, Big Show comes down in his Big Show strength apparel.
Yeah, I just can't imagine someone going, "I want a Big Show shirt." You know, like you never see that.
You know who would?
Who?
Andy McKinnon.
Does he have a Big Show shirt?
No, Andy, I know you would.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me. Andy, I know you would have a big, especially the one with the bear on it.
Oh, for sure.
He'd have that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's a big bear. He'd take it right off Big Show's back, same size.
Oh, for
Wear it with pride.
For show.
I'm gonna get a call tomorrow.
Getting that for show.
I'm gonna get a call either today or tomorrow, and he's gonna be like, "I heard you on the podcast, you dick."
Big Show comes down and then lays the smacketh down on Randy Orton, chokeslamming him through the announce table.
Sets up the ring steps.
Yeah.
Stands on them, puts them right up against the announce table, and holy cow, that was a great choke slam.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good way to start Raw. Crowd was really into it, really hot, and I liked it.
So hot right now.
So
Raw
hot.
Crowd.
So hot.
Props to Callum Johnston. He was at Raw.
He was.
I'll take his word for it.
Tomorrow,
I'll take his word for it that he was holding a podcast of the Immortals sign.
Yeah.
Him and his boy Jack Wallace. Hope you guys had fun. So William Wallace. Tell them Scotland's free.
Yeah, but we're not on my island.
I love ya. Always have.
Always have. Let's just quote Braveheart the rest of the show.
Let's just be stupid Americans.
I am William Wallace.
We are stupid Americans.
Aye, and if he were here, he'd consume the English with lightning bolts from his eyes and fireballs from his arse.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Next up, we had the Union Jacks with Santino, taking on Santino and the Los Matadors. The Union Jacks is a clever name for the 3MB now that they're in England.
We're a three-man band.
Santino wins with a bull snake, with is what we renamed it. It's a cobra with a bull horn on it.
Or would it be the Bulbra?
I don't care.
Or the Cobol?
We're done with this match.
Yeah.
Sandow, Damian Sandow took on Kofi Kingston.
Good man.
Sandow won with the You're Welcome. The crowd was super dead for that match, which was odd to me since they were so into everything else.
Mm-hmm. I like the aggressive Sandow. I loved the sophisticated Sandow. But it's nice to see his character evolve here.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of an edge.
I'm interested in seeing where they take it. But
maybe he'll go the Triple H route.
I just don't like that he's rocking the all black. I loved the pink and the purple, but we'll see.
Yeah. Next up, we had Curtis Axel taking on Dolph Ziggler. Axel won. It was a pretty good match, actually.
For the IC Championship, I thought this is where the title would change hands. Mm-hmm. But Axel pulls off a nice finish. And it was a good match. It was your typical Ziggler match. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad Axel got the win for the sake of him finally winning. Because he usually is the guy who ends up doing the job to whoever he faces.
Yeah, whichever week CM Punk wants to win again.
Yeah.
Next up, we had our Token Divas match. It was Nikki versus Tamina. Brie was in Nikki's corner, and AJ was in Tamina's corner. Tamina won with the Snuka Splash.
Mm-hmm. The Superfly
Splash. That's about it.
I spent most of the match looking at AJ and looking at Nikki Bella.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah.
And I enjoyed it. Nikki, isn't as skinny as Brie.
Stop that.
No, she isn't.
No.
But she looks amazing right now.
I know, I'm just... The way you worded it...
I know, it sounded bad, but she isn't... I mean, Brie is more fit.
They have different builds. They do. They have different builds.
Well, I mean...
Both...
At least you can tell them apart.
And here's the thing, is like, Brie... The word skinny shouldn't apply to either of them. They're both skinny. They're both incredibly fit. Well, no, skinny shouldn't be...
Skinny and fit.
Skinny sounds like sickly.
Yeah.
Like people who work out aren't skinny.
Sure.
They work out.
Sure.
Both of them have abs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, and I'm just...
Yeah, it's hard to get the right vocabulary for it.
Both are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
To me, both are phenomenal.
Like, you pick one, I'll take the other, and we'll both be happy.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to be disappointed.
But no, I mean, Nikki looks great right now, is all I'm saying. She actually posted on Twitter, like, bigger girls do it better, and she showed, or like Big Butt Club or something like that, and she was showing her butt. I mean, not like fully, but like, nice, shot for the camera. And I was like, yeah, I like that. That's all.
She likes to be touched.
She liked the way. The sauce thing, yeah.
The salsa you can have.
The salsa, yeah.
But the secret, she's a mine.
Next up, we had Fandango with Mrs. Fandango taking on Tyson Kidd and
don't forget,
Natalia in his
prior
corner.
To that, we had the Orton Shield confrontation in the back where Randy was...
That's true.
Randy spent the rest of the episode on like a gurney.
On ice. And Dean Ambrose told the doctor, take a walk. Yeah.
He's channeling his inner Deuce and Domino. And Randy asked, where were you guys while I was getting my ass handed to me? And they said, we don't work for Vicky. We don't work for Brad Maddox. We don't work for Kane. We sure as hell don't work for you.
Nice. Who do they work for? Did we ever figure out what their problem with Injustice was?
Well, I think they were implying that you could infer from that conversation that they work for the Authority, Triple H and Stephanie, but they didn't say it.
It's probably Vinnie Mac.
That could be.
Why haven't we seen him on TV?
Oh boy. I don't know. He was scheduled to appear 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll appear closer to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
No chance.
No chance. That's what you
That's
got.
what you got.
Boom.
Holy cow, it's midnight.
Fandango versus Tyson Kidd. It's good to see Tyson Kidd back. He's
Yes.
awesome in the ring. I really like that guy.
I like to see his enthusiasm now. I like that he's back with Natty. She can rid herself of Khali, which was awesome. We didn't see him at all tonight.
Natalia.
I am going to be here back eating.
What was that?
Me and Hornswoggle. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I just don't want to see him.
I loved when I got to see him randomly. I was walking in a mall and he was eating at an Applebee's when I went and saw the house show in Rochester. And it was just weird to see him like sitting at an Applebee's having like a 2 for $20 with Antonio Cesaro, you know, like it's just so weird to me that Khali can walk into a restaurant and be like, can I get those chicken strips? You know? I don't know.
That's just it's just funny to picture him anywhere with anything.
Just doing anything in life, you know.
One of the God, who was it? Might have been the Miz episode of the Art of Wrestling, but I think it was him with like Mark Henry, Hornswoggle, and Khali. I think that was the 4 of them, or it was somebody and those 3 guys. And it's just, can you imagine seeing Mark Henry, Hornswoggle, and the Great Khali pull up
just walk
with
out.
anybody else?
Yeah.
I mean, that'd just be weird.
Like, what do they ride in for one?
A tank.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the match was decent. Fandango ends up winning. The crowd was going crazy about, you know, the Fandangoing was back for at least one night, which is fun to see.
And he was rocking his Union Jack dance pants.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Next up, we had John Cena taking on the Real Americans. Zeb Coulter cut a good promo again. Cena with a new shirt that you can buy on WWEshop.com for $29.95 and $4.95 for shipping.
But if you use the promo code Broski tonight, you can get 20% off your order.
Yeah, that's true. It's a You Can't Stop Me. First time we haven't seen a You Can't See Me on a shirt in a long time. And what did the front say?
Even stronger.
Even stronger.
And what did you say?
I don't know.
You said that that's what he says to Nikki Bella.
Oh, right. No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Well, no, I said the You Can't Stop Me.
That's what
to Nikki Bella.
That's what I meant. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that was a bad joke. Del Rio interrupts the match. Oh, well, during the match,
he was on
and goes on mic.
He was on commentary.
Yeah, really good match. The Cesaro looks great, and
he was positioned well too. Where he was outside of the ring at the end, so he couldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Then he goes in and beats up Cena.
You can really tell that they're liking what Cesaro's doing, and they're positioning him to maybe break free of the swagger of it all.
I've been so happy to see it after that report that he had kind of been in the doghouse.
Yeah.
That there were reports that Vince didn't understand the appeal of Cesaro, and it looked like he was on the outs.
Yeah.
Now it seems like he's having his potential realized, and he's always been effective. It's just that the decision makers are on board with it, which is awesome. Really
cool spot where Cena went for his shoulder block. Cesaro turned it into a European uppercut. It's just awesome. I love when he hits those. That's one of my favorite moves in all of wrestling right now.
Samesies.
And there was a spot in this match and another match later on where they had someone was pinning someone, and the partner saved him by hitting the guy who was pinning him,
by pretty much just touching the person.
Yeah, and the ref's like, I'm not counting anymore.
Yeah,
even though the guy's clearly still, his shoulders are down, the guy's still on top of him. Why is that a save? Why is that okay? I don't understand the whole theory behind that.
It's lazy. It's like the umpire calling the guy out on the force at second, even though
they never touched the bag.
never touched the bag.
Yeah. It's just like, Well, they did it in the past. Like, is it just because, I don't know, they set precedent a long time ago?
I guess, or maybe it's something that they do as like a little tip of the cap to somebody in the back or something.
Sure, I don't know.
Just see who can F it up the most.
Yeah.
Like who can make it look the worst.
Yeah.
Like CM Punk said a few weeks, maybe a month or so ago, that to piss fans off who are mad at him for doing the Macho Man elbow, he tries to do it worse every single time to get that. And like, sure enough, like that next week, he had landed so blatantly feet first that I was like, okay. But he kind of like landed on his feet and then fell into the guy. So it was neat to hear that and then see it firsthand and be like, oh, okay, well, it's good to know that he's doing it to piss people off and he's not actually that bad at it.
That's funny. I hadn't heard that before. That's good. But yeah, so he saves him, but Cena ends up winning by making Jack Swagger tap out. Cesaro attacks afterwards, and so does Del Rio, of course. But then Big E comes to Cena's aid and clears the ring,
which served the purpose of setting up one of our matches later in the night.
Yes.
ADR went in the back, told Kane, Vicky, and Brad Maddox that they need to tell Big E Langston to stay out of his business. And Vicky says that, why don't you tell him yourself, because you're going to have a match with him. And then Kane, who's, it's weird because those three, of course, they're heels, but they're kind of tweeners in a way where they screw over the bad guy too. Or
it was weird.
They don't make it easy for them. But then Kane was like, yeah, go show him what did he say? Go show him what's best for business, or that'll be best for business. They were complimenting him for beating up Cena too. So
yeah, it was.
They kind of talk out of both sides of their mouths.
Yeah, it's really weird. Our next match was Ryback taking on R-Truth. Ryback is continuing to add the Goldberg moves to his repertoire, which excites me, as you know, because I'm a Goldberg fan.
The military press
slam, which is like when you watch Goldberg do it. Oh my god!
The force that he does
through the ring, it's crazy.
What I love about Goldberg doing it is the way he catches them,
just like snaps.
It's just a quick catch and a snap. Yeah,
he's crazy. But Ryback actually loses this match after R-Truth wins with a roll up, which was shocking to me.
I already had it. It's funny in my notes. I already marked it down as a loss for R-Truth, and as soon as it changed, I had to go back and make that switch. So, counting my chickens.
You said Ryback took on John Cena on SmackDown.
Correct.
And you said that he used some other Goldberg moves.
Yeah, he did the jackhammer, which he also did against Kofi Kingston in main event, which you showed me. So he did the jackhammer, and JBL pointed it out. He goes, jackhammer suplex. And he said something like, made famous by Goldberg, or just like Goldberg used to do. And Michael Cole goes, yeah, there's, those guys share a few similarities. And JBL said something like, yeah, it's a compliment to both of them, or something like that. It's high praise for both of them. And they've kind of been hinting, and I'm just waiting for a Ryback match or a promo, and then hear, doon, 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 doon. I think we're gonna see it. I think it's probably just convincing Goldberg that it's worth him coming back to fight Ryback. But I think for whatever, as long as they meet the dollar amount that Goldberg wants, he'll put him over.
I just don't. I don't see why they would do all this if it wasn't leading to it.
Well, it could be just for a giant cock tease. They could do that. I mean, just kind of lead you astray, and also get you thinking about the DVD, the game that he's in, to do stuff like that. Could be.
I don't know.
People like us can get all excited about it, and then they can just
be disappointed.
Pull it away at the end.
Just a big F you to the fans.
Yeah. But yeah, R-Truth wins with a roll up. Ryback tripped, I guess. They had him trip towards the corner of the ring. And then he got rolled up quickly by Truth and loses.
Next match, we had Big E versus Del Rio. Del Rio ends up winning with a cross arm breaker, but it was a decent match.
It was a good match.
Yeah.
It was one that I was hoping that Langston would win because I thought 2 weeks away from a championship match at Survivor Series, Del Rio could afford a loss, and it would be a big boost to Langston. It would make sense that he had come on and helped Cena, so you could think of him in that same category as Cena and Del Rio, at least for a little bit. But Del Rio wins with a cross arm breaker. Langston taps rather quickly. But yeah, it was a decent match.
Yeah, it was worth watching.
Yeah, probably not the last we'll see of Langston having significant matches against significant opponents.
Oh, for sure. Paul Heyman comes out, makes his big return to the WWE landscape. First appearance since being taken out by Punk at Hell in a Cell. He's in a wheelchair and a neck brace, and he absolutely buries Ryback, saying he was never a Paul Heyman guy, and he's glad he didn't accept the invite. And then turns on the fans, saying that it's their fault that he received the beating from CM Punk because they cheered him on as he did it. Says he will return with a vengeance and take out CM Punk.
Kind of made me sad that Ryback didn't even get a chance to confront that. It just seemed like a weird ending to that relationship.
Yeah, because I loved all their stuff. Like their affectionate hugs and kisses and weird. I just thought it was hilarious.
It was well done.
Yep.
But we'll see if this will turn Ryback babyface eventually. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it will have nothing to do with any further storyline.
I have more Goldberg news.
Okay. On mid-show Goldberg news, I'm loving this.
Yes. Bill Goldberg, following SmackDown on Friday, retweeted the following comment from a fan in response to Ryback. Ryback hitting a spear and jackhammer better mean at Goldberg is coming back, because if he isn't, then it's a total kick in the nuts to him by WWE. So he retweeted that. Interesting.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
I'm not saying he's coming back. I just said interesting.
So you're saying there's a chance.
What was all that 1 in a million talk? Paul Heyman says he's going to come back with a vengeance. At that, CM Punk interrupts, of course. Comes down. Quickly takes care of Curtis Axel, hitting the GTS, and then proceeds to beat the shit out of Paul Heyman once again with a kendo stick.
Heyman was wearing his trusty back brace, though.
Yeah.
So those took the brunt of the kendo stick blows.
But still fun. Hopefully that's the end of their feud. Here comes Daniel Bryan, and they're going to take on The Shield in another handicap match, which was set by Kane this time.
Mm-hmm.
So 2-on-3, Punk and Bryan together on a team for the first time probably ever.
Now, I'm trying to remember, because when they had that time in, God, when was it? Was it late 2011 when Zack Ryder was the U.S. champ, Bryan was the World Heavyweight champion, and Punk was the WWE champion, and they started Raw? I thought that they had a 6-man tag at the end of the night with those three on a team.
Possibly. I mean, when it's just those two on a team.
Okay. Wow, you really had to qualify it there.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, so that was our main event. Shield taking on Punk and Bryan. Good stuff. I mean, gosh, I love the crap out of Roman Reigns. I really think, we talked about this while we were watching it, he's the man.
He's got the look, he's got the ability, and we're hoping
you don't know how good he can be.
We're hoping that he can continue to improve on the mic as well, because he could be just a massive star.
Oh, yeah. Punk ends up locking in the Anaconda Vice on Dean Ambrose when the Wyatts decide to show up. And this is when it turned really interesting.
We're here.
Wyatts came in. Harper and Rowan were in the ring, but instead of Punk and Bryan going after the Wyatts, which you thought would normally would happen, but the Shield got into a shouting match with the Wyatts, basically saying this is our match, get out of the ring, and they came down to fisticuffs. All 6 men were duking it out, and that's when the Usos and Code Dust came running down. No, what happened?
They came to their senses and stopped fighting each other.
Oh, right, and then they turned on Punk and
and
Bryan.
went after Punk and Bryan.
That's right. I apologize. And that's when the Usos and Goldust came down. Good guys ended up clearing the ring. Now that's probably going to be our Survivor Series.
Yeah, and I'm not a great Survivor Series historian, but I think that would be the first 12-man tag at Survivor Series. Used to always be 4-on-4. Then they went to 5-on-5 when they had that massive split roster. And occasionally they'd have 4-on-4 still. But I don't know. I mean, it would make sense to set up this way. The only thing that I'm curious about, and I hope they keep some continuity in the storyline, is you can't have Kane just be okay with the Wyatts all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Something's got to give there, and I just hope they address it somehow. I don't know how they would do it, but I hope they don't pretend that Kane didn't lose in an Inferno match to Bray Wyatt and then got dragged away by the Wyatts.
Yeah, that
I hope
doesn't
they
make
don't
a lot of
pretend
sense.
that never happened.
Although
I do love Corporate Kane.
Well, me too. Yeah, you love the crap out of Corporate Kane.
Yeah.
But
You should go by Glenn, though.
yeah, you should. Glenn Kane.
Glenn with 2 N's.
But the good guys clear the ring. Daniel Bryan music hits. Crowd yeses. Raw goes off the air. I like the ending. It led to a lot of different feud possibilities, and I loved the Shield and the Wyatt interaction because I think that's a natural match that should happen in the future.
Mm-hmm. And we've been calling for that since the Wyatts debuted.
Yeah.
Glad to see it.
All right, now we're going to get into our WrestleMania Dream Card right now. WrestleMania 30, just around the corner, a few months from now. I have a bunch of guys listed off here who all need a match.
Okay.
The Undertaker.
Santino.
No, I'm just going to list off the people who I have written down right now. The Undertaker.
So he should fight Santino. I'm just kidding.
The Undertaker. Brock Lesnar. Hulk Hogan. John Cena. Stone Cold, Goldberg, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Ryback, Triple H, Randy Orton. Have I missed anyone?
The Shield. Do you want
Shield.
Jericho? Rob Van Dam?
Jericho. Oh yeah, RVD's coming back. Big Show.
Fandango? Dolph Ziggler? ADR?
Yeah, ADR.
Daniel Bryan?
Yep, I got Daniel Bryan.
CM Punk?
CM Punk's in there.
CM Punk?
Okay. So let's do
Cody
our...
Rhodes, Damian Sandow.
Oh yeah, Cody Rhodes,
Sheamus.
and Goldust. Sheamus will be back too. Yeah.
Lobster Head. Too many limes.
All right. Let's start with an obvious one. Undertaker's going to have a match. Who's going to go up against the streak?
It's pretty much Brock Lesnar, isn't it?
Brock Lesnar is the natural.
And I mean, the
Master.
build-up will be perfect because the last couple years they've had it look like Undertaker's hanging by a thread,
Yeah.
wrestling-wise, and that Brock will be the monster to be able to put him down.
Yeah, they both have those MMA background too, that style. And Undertaker was at like UFC 126. That's probably wrong.
Yeah, totally.
And they had that run in, which was exciting.
And it's cool to see the MMA guy fight the guy who's really into MMA.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. That'd be a great thing. The only thing, though, is you'd say, well, how is Brock Lesnar expected to beat the guy who beat Triple H twice when Triple H beat Brock Lesnar at last year's WrestleMania?
Yeah.
They kind of painted themselves into a corner there.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan.
Man, I'm going to go with Cena because if I have to pick, that's who he's fighting.
I agree. It makes the most sense, and we talked about that. I'm trying to get
hang on to this too, so we know.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the obvious ones.
Don't forget HBK.
Oh yeah, HBK. Man, that'd be awesome. God, it's never gonna happen.
Well, I was gonna say, if it does, we're gonna have to watch with no pants.
I'll be in the arena with no pants.
Yeah. You probably will get arrested. Although it is New Orleans, they might allow it.
Stone Cold, I don't believe is going to come back. There's been no reports that he's coming
CM
back.
Punk.
he would have to face CM Punk, I believe. Unless he took on Goldberg.
CM Punk. Oh, God. That'd be cool. I just don't see two guys in that position fighting each other.
I agree,
but
that's one match that I would
Goldberg
want to see.
Jericho.
Oh, that'd be good too.
Goldberg Jericho.
But yeah, we'll go Stone Cold CM Punk just because they've laid those foundations for a few years now. Goldberg, of course, Ryback is the obvious match
Goldberg,
there.
Ryback.
We already have like 4 main events.
I want to see Hogan Warrior. No, I don't.
No one wants
That'd
to
be
see
terrible.
that ever again. HBK.
Triple H.
Really? Over Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it would be a good way for Triple H to end his wrestling career.
I agree. Okay. So we got a lot of the obvious ones out of the way.
Now save some room for the Miz's match.
The Miz. I don't think he's going to be... Although he's undefeated at WrestleMania.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He and John Morrison were tag team partners, and they lost.
Did they lose?
Yeah.
Well, they keep touting how he's undefeated.
Yeah, and they conveniently forget that he and Morrison lost. They lost to, it was, might have been Rhodes and DiBiase. Or Big Show and somebody. I think it was Rhodes and DiBiase, though. I'll look it up again.
All right. Daniel Bryan.
Dolph Ziggler. Or is there anybody noteworthy on there that I'm forgetting?
Randy Orton.
Yeah, let's go.
Jericho. RVD. Well, who's the WWE champion and who's the World Heavyweight Championship?
That's a good question. Okay, first, before I answer that, Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho would be an awesome match at Mania. That would kick ass. But I'm gonna say that Orton. Oh man,
I don't want to see that match though.
Cena's fighting Hogan.
Should we get rid of Stone Cold? Because there's been no talk of Stone Cold coming
Well, I mean,
back.
this is our dream matches.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily what we think it's going to be.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's plausible, because we could say Andre the Giant.
I'm going to say... Well, no, that's not plausible, because Andre the Giant's dead.
Well, you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
All right, well, we could say...
I'm teasing.
Okay,
I know what you mean.
I think we should take Stone Cold out.
All right, take him off then. So then you want to say Punk Orton for the title? Either one's the champion coming into it?
I want to say Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk for the unification.
Oh, God, I just don't know if they're that smart. That'd be awesome, but...
It's been rumored that CM Punk is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Although, if there was ever... You're right. If there's ever a year where they could have that, all of the other big stars... And all of the stars in their minds are busy with other big matches that don't involve titles. That'd be great. So yeah, put me down for that.
Brian Punk?
Brian Punk for the unification.
That'd be awesome.
That would kick butt.
I'm going to rate unification.
And you could have Punk beat Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. At Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber.
Randy Orton.
Big Show? I mean, I can't see for anything. Or Cody Rhodes. No, Rhodes versus Rhodes.
Rhodes versus Goldust.
Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio. Just throw them at each other. One of them will be a babyface by then.
I doubt that they will be, but
I reserve the right to change that one.
All right. Dolph Ziggler. Jericho?
Chris Jericho.
Yeah. We're going to have some...
Actually, I could see Rob Van Dam fight Randy Orton. Or as I like to call him, Rob Van Dong.
Triple threat.
And then you could have Rey Mysterio fight Del Rio.
I don't want Mysterio on my card. Randy Orton versus ADR versus RVD.
For what?
For $15,000.
You know what? They'll probably throw... Do you think they'll throw a Money in the Bank ladder match in there?
Probably not, but it's our WrestleMania, so we can.
Well, in that case, I'm going to have a topless divas match involving Caitlyn, Natalya, AJ, Renee Young is going to make her
Renee Young debut.
Summer Rae.
Ava Marie.
Yeah.
JoJo.
No.
You don't like JoJo?
Well, she looks like she's 14. I'd feel like I'm doing something illegal watching this. I know. 20. She'll be 20 by then, 21, whatever. Trinity or Naomi.
Yeah.
Somebody call my mama.
We should. I mean, I want to see some of that booty meat.
Book it.
Book it.
Somehow, topless sounded way better than booty meat as far as appropriateness.
Booty meat. Well, that's what they said on
I know.
Sheamus. We got to put him into one of those like brawl for alls. We should have like let's have a Money in the Bank match.
Either a Money in the Bank or a Battle Royal or something.
Yeah.
And who's going to be fighting for the tag titles? Assuming the tag titles are on the line.
Triple H will take on himself.
I'm going to say Usos and the Real Americans. No, they won't be together. Cesaro, you got to throw Cesaro in the mix too.
How about the Shield versus the Wyatts for the tag titles?
Why not? That'd be cool.
We would have like a 9-hour long WrestleMania at this point.
It'd be an all-day deal.
It'd be awesome.
It'd have an intermission, or 3.
I mean, here's the matches we have so far. We have Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan taking on John Cena, Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk, and the unification of the titles.
And we're forgetting The Rock.
He's not coming back for this year. Goldberg versus Ryback, Triple H versus HBK in a retirement match for Triple H. Randy Orton versus ADR versus RVD for some reason. Jericho versus
for the
Ziggler.
Divas title.
And Cody Rhodes taking on Goldust, and the Shield versus the Wyatts. The only two guys we don't have in there is Sheamus and Big Show, so we can have them fight each other.
And we could get Cesaro and Swagger in there somehow. Sheamus and Big Show will be your tag team du jour that fights for the title.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a returning Mark Henry, Rey Mysterio, Dave Bautista.
Ooh, yeah, he's not coming back either.
No.
All right, well, that's our card. It's going to cost Vince McMahon a lot of money to put that show on.
Here's your homework assignment for the week. Give us the one match at WrestleMania that, for it to be worth your while and your money, has to be on the card at New Orleans. Let us know what match that is.
What will make you fork out $60 to watch that pay-per-view and be like, I can't wait for this match? What is that one match that you haven't seen before, that you haven't seen at Mania, that you would just go crazy for? That's what I want to know.
If Chris Benoit did a run-in, that'd be amazing.
They did a thing about Eddie Guerrero coming back, and he's like saying how he lied, cheated, and stealed, and how he's playing possum all these years, and like now he's back for the title. I think Kayfabe News did that story.
I see.
Yeah.
Actually, Wednesday will be the 8-year anniversary of his death.
Yeah.
November 13th. Rest in peace, Eddie G.
Rest in peace. We miss you. But that's our show for this week. Want to thank WrestleNews.com for hosting us once again. You can check them out on Twitter at WrestleNews with a Z.
Thank you to Wrestle News. Thank you to all our listeners. You can follow Matt on Twitter at #9, 7 Bush, BUSCH.
Like the beer.
97 Bush, like the race car drivers.
That's true.
And you can follow me at Jimmy Bellamy. You can follow our podcast at Immortals PCast, because Twitter characters don't allow Podcast of the Immortals or Immortals Podcast. And in fact, we are listed as a podcast of Immortals, but then in our bio it's Podcast of the Immortals.
Yes.
And I just went on that long explanation for no reason.
Nope. But yeah, check us out there. You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube, whatever.
Pretty much everywhere. You can find us on Google.
You can follow us, walking to the store.
Yeah, shoot us a line. Thanks for listening, and enjoy this week. It's going to be a good week, I have a feeling.
Yeah. It's 12 degrees outside, so enjoy that weather.
And we'll see you for episode 47.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
That was a good one.
I like it.
I like that. You know, I like when we talk over it at the end here.
Actually, you know what? I like when we get up and leave.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
just,
go.
you know, they can stay here.
Yeah, they can
They can stay and we'll just walk out.
suck it.
I gotta get something to drink.